to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife. Jam. Not yesterday, not today, or even tomorrow. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The White Queen looked at Alice in a helpless, frightened sort of way, and kept repeating something in a whisper to herself that sounded like bread and butter, bread and butter. And Alice felt that if there was to be any conversation at all, she must manage it herself. So she began rather timidly, "Am I addressing the White Queen?" "Well, yes, if you call that addressing," the Queen said. "It isn't my notion of the thing at all." Alice thought it would never do to have an argument at the very beginning of their conversation, so she smiled and said, "If your Majesty will only tell me the right way to begin, I'll do it as well as I can." "But I don't want it done at all," groaned the poor Queen. "I've been addressing myself for the last 2 hours." It would have been all the better, as it seemed to Alice, if she had got someone else to dress her. She was so dreadfully untidy. "Every single thing's crooked," Alice thought to herself, "and she's all over pins. May I put your shawl straight for you?" she added aloud. "I don't know what's the matter with it," the Queen said in a melancholy voice. "It's out of temper, I think. I've pinned it here, and I've pinned it there, but there's no pleasing it." "It can't go straight, you know, if you pin it all on one side," Alice said as she gently put it right for her. "And dear me, what a state your hair is in." "The brush has got entangled in it," the Queen said with a sigh, "and I lost the comb yesterday." Alice carefully released the brush and did her best to get the hair into order. "Come, you look rather better now," she said after altering most of the pins, "but really, you should have a lady's maid." "I'm sure I'll take you with pleasure," the Queen said. "Twopence a week and jam every other day." Alice couldn't help laughing as she said, "I don't want you to hire me, and I don't care for jam." "It's very good jam," said the Queen. "Well, I don't want any today, at any rate." "You couldn't have it if you did want it," the Queen said. "The rule is jam tomorrow and jam yesterday, but never jam today." "It must come sometimes to jam today," Alice objected. "No, it can't," said the Queen. "It's jam every other day. Today isn't any other day, you know." "I don't understand you," said Alice. "It's dreadfully confusing." You will recognize that as an extract from Lewis Carroll's marvellous novel Through the Looking Glass. You may not know that Lewis Carroll was actually called Charles Dodgson, and he was a lecturer in mathematics at Oxford University. His first book was actually about geometry, nothing to do with jam yesterday and jam tomorrow, but not jam today. And I thought I would read that extract because it's pertinent with regard to the subject that I'm now going to talk to you about in relation to this one's wife. We all know that she's had the opportunity to hold herself out as the doyenne of jam, the Duchess of Preserved Fruits. We had much hilarity last year as she utilised the provision of jam as a means to pursue the prime aims, with most jars of jam actually never surfacing and being seen in respect of who they were actually sent to. But the matter of jam has risen again for this one's wife, as Caroline Graham reports in the Daily Mail. Mystery last night surrounded the Duchess of Sussex's plans to launch her long-awaited lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, with the sale of gourmet jam. She was widely anticipated to time its unveiling to coincide with the debut of her highly anticipated Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. But barely 2 weeks before the series begins streaming on March the 4th, it remains unclear where this one's wife will be sourcing her fruit, who will be packaging her products, and if a single jar of jam has yet been bottled. Sources have claimed items from her new product line will be tastefully inserted into the 8-part series, but Netflix and representatives of the Duchess have declined to comment on this. And after speaking to dozens of fruit farmers, jam producers and industrial food plants within 100 miles of a home in Montecito, the Mail on Sunday can reveal that none claim to know anything about this one's wife's product. Wow, what a gig that was. We want you to ring up anybody that might be linked to the production of jam within 100 miles of her home. Speak to the fruit farmers, speak to the jam producers, speak to the industrial food plants. Are you providing fruit or jam to this one's wife? And the answer is, all of them claim to know nada. Bugger all, diddly squat. She first touted her American Riviera Orchard strawberry jam early in April 2024, see parts passim, by sending it to celebrity friends including supermodel Chrissy Teigen and Abigail Spencer. Have you seen her recently? Ooh, something's gone wrong there, I'll tell you. Labelled with this one's wife's calligraphy, topped with a delicate ribbon tied in a bow, it was the embodiment of homemade elegance, well, if you say so, Daily Mail, and gourmet luxury that she is desperate for her lifestyle brand to project. But farmers and jam makers are sceptical. There's no way that she's slaving for hours over a hot stove stirring steaming strawberries, said one industrial jam producer, and I doubt she's setting up an industrial kitchen in her home. She's most likely to use a co-packager who'll source her fruit, cook it, put it in jars, label it, add the nutritional and ingredient details, and send it out under her company's name. Oh, what a surprise! If, and it is a big if, this jam is ever going to appear, it's not her jam, like it's not her bees, or not her lettuce, not her teeth, not her dresses, not her recipes, not her home, not her quotations, not her speeches. It's yet more not this one's wife. None of the major co-packagers in Southern California claim to be making this one's wife jams, nor did any farmers or small batch jam makers interviewed claim to have heard a whisper about this one's wife's jams. We have no knowledge whatsoever, said Molly Gein, whose farm produces gourmet preserves under the brand Harry's Berries. Ho, ho, ho. Harry's Berries have been snipped off and placed in a handbag. It remains unclear whether this one's wife's jams are being made with locally grown fruits or produced in nearby facilities. Or, just like the White Queen said, in effect, you can't have any jam because it doesn't really exist. This raises questions about her using the brand name American Riviera, the term locals use to refer to the Santa Barbara region. Products or services need to come from or originate from the places identified in the name of the trademark, said trademark and intellectual property lawyer Michael Cohen of the Cohen IP Law Group in Los Angeles. It has been suggested that she is struggling to get the trademark approved. This week, it was revealed that a selection of her products will go on sale inside the Netflix house in malls in Dallas and Philadelphia. A source said those stores won't open for several months, so the question is, where is she going to sell the products, and does she even have the products ready to sell? Sources close to this one's wife said, stay tuned when asked if the brand's launch was imminent. Well, it would appear from the investigative work of the Mail that there isn't any jam, nobody's making any jam for her, so what's she going to be selling? Perhaps jam is no longer one of the offerings after the humiliation she experienced in respect of the jam scam last year. Some investigative work by the Mail, which demonstrates that nobody's making jam for her, at least not admitting to doing so. We might yet be surprised. But it wouldn't be a surprise if there's nothing to sell, because this one's wife can't be asked to create the infrastructure. Another failure by this one's wife. And in the world of this one's wife, with the jam, you can't have it yesterday, you can't have it tomorrow, and you certainly can't have it today. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.